I used to hate a guy that did that to me. He'd say, I had a guy that worked for me one time, like I'd be explaining something to him. Okay, now you cut it like this, now you're gonna do it like this, now you gotta take it over your board, you gotta take care of this, and get over here, and you're gonna do this. And the whole time I'd do it, he'd say, and I was like, how the hell are you listening to what I'm saying if the whole time I'm talking, you're saying, used to drive me up a wall. I'm Richard T. Sin, this is On the Mat. The Bonejangler's in the, hey, what's pasa, Bato?
What's going on, dude?
Hey, the Bonejangler in the house. For those of you in wrestling world that don't know about the Bonejangler, he hosts his own horrific, crazy, off-the-chain horror movie show. And I gotta say, Bonejangler, you've been pushing the envelope, bro, for quite some time.
That's my whole angle, don't you know? I mean, who else would be able to do it? That's why I entered the fray, shall we say. I've been doing this for a good number of years now. When I first started doing it, the whole thing was sort of dying off. There weren't that many people. And so I wanted to resuscitate the whole genre, you know, hosting the horror movies and whatnot. And plus, everybody that was doing it was sort of locked into like 1962. And I felt like, you know, that was like 40 years ago or more. So let's bring it into the now. And so I brought it and dragged it kicking and screaming into the now, along with Nocturna, who you also know.
Okay, when you say bringing it, you're talking about, because I'm a big horror show host, or not host, but fan.
Yes.
I grew up watching Creature Features. I'm a big fan of Sven Gulli. I've never actually hosted a horror show, but I got to say, it looks like fun. Especially, you mentioned Nocturna. Yeah, I do know Nocturna. Your lady friend, she's a beautiful lady, and I gotta ask you, how'd you hook up with her?
Nocturna and I, well, boy, that's quite a story. Nocturna and I hooked up back in the Old West originally, and she was much younger than I am. Was then and still is. You know, we're immortal beings and whatnot. I made her immortal. Oh, yes.
Oh, man, you changed her for the better.
That's right. Sort of locked it in right there at the zenith of the whole thing, you know, and just stayed with it. So, yeah, it's good times. Then we have the Coven. You know, other people might wish that they had a coven, but I have the Coven, which is basically like my harem of sexy, you better not mess with them. They're like sort of like bodyguards in a harem, as if I need bodyguards, you know.
Wow, what a party.
Yeah, oh, it's always a party. That's what we do. I'm the Toastmaster General of the whole horror host scene. When we started doing this thing, there was only like 19 other people out there in the whole world doing this thing. And now with the internet and whatnot, you know, a lot of these guys are not really on TV, they're on the internet. And now there's like 90 some of them, but I must say...
That are horror show hosts.
That are horror show hosts.
Because now, you've actually given me some tapes. I was going to say borrowed them. You were nice enough to give them to me, some DVDs, I should say, of your show. And the one that was my favorite was the female horror hosts.
Oh, yes.
Man, some of them girls were really hot, moderately talented. Some of them could sing, I'll give them that. Some of them couldn't sing, even if they had a karaoke mic. But I will say this, some of them was downright hot, and you got them from all over the country, Bonejangler. So how did you hook up with all these girls? Is there a website we can go to find out about female horror show hosts, especially if they're short in stature, midgets even?
Oh, midgets. You've got a fetish for the midgets, huh?
I like little women.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, you know, you just go to horrorhosts.com.
Wait, hold on. What kind of hosts?
I got to slow it down for you. HORROR, horror. Right. Hosts.com, and that'll tell you about all of the horror hosts out there, at least all the ones that are probably worth a darn.
So some of them let you lace up their corset backstage?
Oh, they want me to, you know. They want me to do that. They're mainly there to please me, you know. That's what it's about.
Oh, it sounds like fun. I got to bring it into wrestling just a little bit, but more on horror, because me and you are kindred spirits. I got to say, we got a great match coming up tonight, but I will say this. I was in a band for years and years called the Gruesomes, formerly known as Richard T. Sin, still to this day known as Richard T. Sin, formerly known as Gruesome Dave, around the Northwest Chicago area. So I got to say, to have somebody on here tonight that's really into rock and roll, wrestling, horror. I mean, me and you could probably roll all night with conversation. It's never going to stop. But we do have on tap tonight from PCW's first Dreamnight ever. We have got the match of Jimmy Blaze taking on none other than Sacrifice. And I know about Sacrifice. We've seen him here on the Mat before. This guy does exactly that. He puts his body on the line every night in front of God, P.L. Myers, and everybody. And he's fixing to do it right here tonight from 2002 in a classic flashback. Guess what, Bonejangler? We picked this match special for you. You know why?
Why is that?
From what I understand, it's a little bit bloody, son.
Oh, good. I like it that way.
It's a little bit bloody. You like it like that,
Oh, that's the way I like it. And you know what, Sacrifice, as far as Sacrifice goes, that's cool that there's people like him. I mean, not just because it's entertaining and whatnot in terms of the sport, but Sacrifice is just something that that's something that I observe in others because I'm not willing to make a sacrifice. See, that's how I operate.
But have you ever had one of those young horror nubile hosts, those whipping young Devachkas? Have you ever had one of them sacrifice herself to you, Bonejangler?
Well, certainly. I mean, that's any day that ends in Y, that sort of thing takes place.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. This guy sounds like a party. I'm going to have to follow you home after this.
All right.
It sounds like a good one. But, yeah, Jimmy Blaze. Have you ever met Jimmy Blaze?
Jimmy Blaze, I have not had the privilege of meeting.
Jimmy Blaze, I'll tell you this right now, Bonejangler. This guy now he promotes his own wrestling. He's got his own POW league. But he was one of the first guys, PCW, one of the big stars of Chicago wrestling, took it on his own, started his own league, started out with Sam DeCero at Windy City Pro Wrestling, then trained under Sonny Rogers, then moved on and made his own group, eventually morphed into POW. Before that, they were called Classic Championship Wrestling, CCW. Real good time. And I used to go down there and work for them, do play-by-play, because I was introduced by Nicholas H., our producer here.
Well, Nicholas H., of course, is a stand-up guy. So, I mean, anybody that he'd introduce you to. And then Sonny Rogers, I've managed wrestlers in the past. Sonny Rogers trained those wrestlers. So I'm familiar with Sonny Rogers as well.
There we go. And let's go to that match right now, right here tonight on the Mat. Jimmy Blaze taking on Sacrifice from the very first Dreamnight. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Look at this. Winds up. There's Sacrifice in there. Look at that. He's got his seriously taped fist, huh, Bonejangler?
Yeah, he's not messing around.
Oh, look at this. It's clear as a bell. What a clothesline! Oh. Look at this. Dreamnight, the very first one. Jimmy Blaze back up, meets with a kick from the Sacrifice. Man, Sacrifice is one tough, wiry dude.
And this guy already wants to bail out. Look at this.
Well, Jimmy Blaze is a smart cookie. I'll tell you this.
Yeah, he's got to get his bearings together here.
Is that what it is?
Oh, that's what they call it. That's the official term for it.
He's got cobwebs in the windmills of his mind.
There you go, yes.
Well, a guy out there with a security shirt, another guy with an Aussie shirt. Rock and roll and security's been well represented here. Sacrifice leaps into the crowd. Oh. No, the crowd and Jimmy Blaze at the bottom of it. Oh, my goodness. Talk about hardcore action. And wait a minute, is that referee Lou Tefano, Nicholas H.? Lou Tefano, your referee. This cat, the referee, the guy in the stripes, you see,
yes.
He has got one of the biggest collections of action figures in Chicago sports, believe it or not. You can take it to the bank.
Well,
yeah.
You know what? I have several action figures of my own.
Look at this. He flings them in face first to that. Oh, man. Now, wait a minute. Oh, there's a coat draped over the steel post. That's always nice. Okay, wait a minute. Jimmy Blaze making his way up second turnbuckle. Got that leather coat on. I don't know why they got that coat on the ring post. Nicholas H. can explain that in post-production. Jimmy Blaze is on the top turnbuckle, flies through the air, and wait a minute, jumps into this pile of seemingly fans?
Yes.
Is that Sacrifice's jabronis? Who are these guys? They just, wow, I don't know.
They look comfortable right now on their backs, I'll say
You pay
that.
a little extra at a PCW event to get dived on by Jimmy Blaze, the 300-pound Jimmy Blaze. It's a big dude.
The coat came from Jimmy Blaze. He wore it to the ring.
He wore it to the ring. Nicholas H. informed me as Bonejangler. He wore it to the I had a feeling it was a wrestler's coat. Jimmy Blaze, wait a minute, Sacrifice up on the second rope again, making his way up, but same thing, by that leather coat of Jimmy Blaze. Up he goes, corkscrew, and down goes that whole gang and entourage.
Then there was a little bit of an elbow there, too. I noticed that. Yeah, you got to throw that in there.
Yeah, dropping a little science right here tonight at OTM.
Oh, okay, now what?
Sacrifice looks like he's taking a walk around trying to intimidate these fans, intimidate anybody that's going to stand around Jimmy Blaze and help him. Sacrifice flings him in. Jimmy Blaze trying to stand back up and get in this thing. Referee Lou Tefano getting back in there. Meets him with a boot, does the Blaze Meister. Here he is, Jimmy Blaze. Whoa, man, opens up with a fist. Always kind of reminded me of Hard Rock Coco and Joe with that beard Jimmy Blaze did.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I'm Hard Rock, he's Coco.
I run those every year on my Christmas show.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I introduced it to a lot of people around the country.
Oh,
I didn't know that, didn't grow up with it like people here.
Now, is that before or after you were with Garfield Goose?
Well, you know, Garfield Goose, that's a whole nother story.
Why, I oughta. All right. What was that little rabbit guy's name? He was cool, too.
Oh, Romberg?
Romberg! Wow, you're good, man. Yeah, thank you. It's like going to the Museum of Broadcasting.
He had
with
a
the
turban
Bonejangler.
on, you know.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, he was cool. I like it.
Yeah. All right, now we got Sacrifice in there on top of Jimmy Blaze. Got that submission hold cinched in. Jimmy Blaze trying to make his way back up. Even back then, Jimmy Blaze was a pretty big dude. Ah, man, Sacrifice. Bulldog right in the middle of the ring. This is shot wonderfully. I bet Nicholas H. was there for this night. Nicholas H., the ultimate wrestling historian, our producer here on the mat, always chiming in from time to time. Sacrifice didn't quite get the pin on that one. Jimmy Blaze trying to get back in this thing. Here we go. Sacrifice snatches him up by the short hairs. Oh, chop onto Blaze in that ring attire. Those do a little more damage when you got no shirt on. Oh man, not like that they do though. I'll tell you, he just really took it to him. Lou Tefano warning him, back off a little, Sacrifice. Man, Sacrifice just taking it to Jimmy Blaze. Nicholas H. whipping us out a real history gem right here tonight on OTM.
A classic.
Yeah, flings him in. Flying dive. Wait a minute. Jimmy Blaze looks like he's on. No, he's not. Well, now he is. Man, oh man. Chin buster by Sacrifice. Whips him off into the corner. Sacrifice lies in wait. Gets hung up. Ooh, man. Crotched on the second turnbuckle by Jimmy Blaze. Now he snatches. Ooh, man, goodness, what a neck breaker.
That'll mess your day up right there.
Yeah, it will. You know it. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, it's good for Jimmy Blaze, of course.
So you came out and managed a couple wrestlers a couple times, huh?
Oh, yeah. Probably a couple dozen times.
How about that Chucky?
Yeah, he was one of them.
How about that Chucky?
There you go.
Yeah.
Did some angles with some other feds down in Tennessee as well.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the place to go. That's hot. That's hot wrestling down there.
Oh, they're supposed to get a library there pretty soon, is what I understand. So that's something.
A wrestling library? You mean just a regular old
just
library?
a library. They're going to bring a library to Tennessee.
Man.
Somewhere in the state of Tennessee. I'm not sure where.
Rough. Wow, hadn't they heard of Ben Franklin?
I don't know.
All kinds of stuff they could do out there, you know? Look at this. Here we go. Wait a minute for the 1, the 2. Wait a minute. Sacrifice gets the shoulder up.
Now, Lou Tefano reminds me of Tor Johnson, horror actor Tor Johnson.
You remember him? I
Plan
love
9
Tor
from
Johnson.
Outer Space.
Yeah, Tor Johnson was great. He really added something to that. And then when he was, what's the other one? Bride of the Monster.
Oh, yeah, Lobo.
Lobo's great. He's really good in that with those. And then they made a mask, a traditional horror mask after his character in that. To this day, they sell that mask.
That's the best-selling Don Post horror mask of all time.
Don Post. Yeah, I remember those masks. Back in the 70s, I used to order them when I was a kid through Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. Wait a minute. Jimmy Blaze throws down Sacrifice. So did you used to read Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine when you were a little tyke?
Well, I was good. Well, I wasn't a little tyke because I'm ancient, but Forrest J. Ackerman, he was a good friend of mine.
Really?
Yes.
You met Forrest J. Ackerman?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Now, he's been in a lot of horror movies. He's like a horror icon.
He is the horror icon. He passed away, though, not too long ago, and now he's off to conquer some other, because he didn't believe in heaven and hell and all that, so he's off to some other world, I like to think of it that way, to conquer it with a bunch of hot-looking chicks with ray guns and big boobs and whatnot.
Yeah. Vampirella and Vampira and Elvira and bring them on. And Nocturna even, if we got lucky.
Nocturna. Uh-oh, what's going on here?
Jimmy Blaze. Oh, man, that's one big dude. Oh, man, right across. What's he doing now? He's cleaning out the ring. He's getting ready to, he's setting them up for something. Jimmy Blaze lies in wait. Sacrifice taking a beating here. The big man Blaze for the 1, the 2. Only a 2.
Yeah, you can't count Sacrifice out. I mean, as crazy as that guy is, he's got something cooking there.
He is something of a nutcase. My only memories of him are his crazy suicide dives. He's kind of like PCW's Sabu.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Reminds me of Sabu. Whoa, big kick. Super kick. Yeah, goes for the 1, the 2. Up, Jimmy Blaze gets the shoulder up. Sacrifice, though, really showing us something tonight. PCW Chicago, you can see that ring banner. Well-attended event back in 2002, fans. Uh-oh, Sacrifice with the kick. DDT, face first. Down goes the Blaze. Jimmy Blaze. Now back to the ref, because Lou Tefano, cool guy, nice guy, great action figure collection. And the reason we all know him, wait a minute, 1, only a 2, shoulder up for Jimmy Blaze. The reason we all know Lou Tefano is he used to be part of the State Athletic Commission.
Oh.
And back in the day, people like me and Ritchard Darwish and Tony Playa, we'd come with the, whoa, look at these punches. Look at that slap. Look at that punch. Look at that slap. Look at that punch. Look at that slap. Look at that smack right in the side of the head. Flings them. Uh-oh. Now they're all tied up. Jimmy Blaze probably come up on the winner's end of that one. Uh-oh. Sets him up for the pile driver. Ooh. And down goes Sacrifice. He compressed his head right into his neck. 2, only a 2. Yeah. Now, I will be honest, this match comes from 2002. I'm going to spoil it a little bit here. From post-production, my meeting with Nicholas H., from what I understand, I have it on good authority, this match is going to get good and bloody. That's why from time to time, well, there, just push down the ref. From time to time, if I digress or we talk about horror films, I just want you to know that's why I'm doing that, because I know and I have a little time. That's why we can talk about Lou Tefano having such an action figure collection. And there he goes, just flings him right back down, does
Jimmy Blaze was not showing much respect for Lou there. He just sort of tossed him like an action figure.
Well, he probably knows that he's got himself an Ultimate Warrior Mago action figure that Tefano wants to buy real bad, so he knows he's going to kind of give him a little leeway in the match. Now, wait a minute. Is that an anchor? No, I think it's barbed wire on a spool, if I'm not mistaken. Nicholas H., will you confirm barbed wire on a spool? Oh, the humanities. Talk about that.
These security guys are
but they got
very helpful, though. You notice that?
Those bolt cutters, you know what those are for, don't you?
Well,
that's if you put a lock in your locker at Windy City and Sam DeCero wants it off, he'll snap it right off with the bolt cutters. That's what those are for. Rough justice, Master J. That's how we did it at Windy City, son. Thank you very much. All right, here we go.
Here we go now.
Yeah, none of these model coddle baby boy managers. Oh, I want to come in and write scripts. I'm a mastermind. Yeah, shut up, kid, and set up the ring. That's what they'll tell you. All right, here we go. Jimmy Blaze with a baseball bat wrapped in like barbed wire or tape, something. Here come the sheet pans, the garbage can. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Now we're opening up a can of you-know-what, Mr. Bonejangler.
Yeah. Can of whoop-ass is what they call it.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Another technical term there.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute. Kendo stick. Man, right across the shoulder of Blaze.
Sacrifice seems to be pretty handy with that kendo stick there. He's probably quite happy that Jimmy Blaze brought that out for him. Oh, now we're switching over to the trash can here. That looks like a brand new trash can, you know?
Yes, it does.
Nice and shiny.
Nice and shiny.
Yeah. Well, it's PCW.
They're still hard.
PCW, they got the money, you know, they can afford a new one.
They did have big money, and I can remember going to PCW shows back then and seeing people like big stars like Billy Corgan hanging out.
Oh, I know Billy Corgan quite well as well.
Do you really?
Went backstage to many a pumpkin show. I was good friends with Darcy, the bass player chick.
Yeah.
And the first time I met her, she was changing her clothes. Nicholas H. keeping us abreast of what's happening.
He's busted wide open, Bonejangler.
Oh.
Jimmy Blaze has been busted clean open.
Well, that
like
ought to
a
look
can
good.
Of soup.
Yeah.
Now go on, you were saying?
Oh, Darcy from the Pumpkins.
Darcy from the Pumpkins. She didn't kick you in the face like that,
no,
though, did
she was taking her clothes off. She was half undressed, and I said, I'm sorry, I'll get out of here. She told me to stay right there. I was good right where I was. So.
Whoa, look at Jimmy Blaze. Bleeding like a stuck pig, Bonejangler. Kick to the face by Sacrifice.
There we go.
DDTs him right there in the middle of the ring. Oh, my goodness. This one's really starting to get brewing up here. They got that red ring. It's liable to be even redder by the time these two get through.
A sea of blood. Now, where is Sacrifice? He's got something else going on right now.
Yeah, good question. There he is. Wait a minute. He's got some kind of chain link fence he's walking up with.
Oh, boy.
This is just what the doctor ordered here. A section of chain link fence. Let's just bring in a steel cage. You know, grate it across Jimmy Blaze's face, if you will. He's bringing it to the ring. Evidently, he's got some plans for it. Look at these fans all mullet-laden and shaved up for wrestling. Here we go, face first into there. Oh, man, here we go. Throws him into the ring. Sacrifice is bringing in all kinds of implements now. He's got this steel door, the door from the cage. P.L. Myers allocated to him before the match. Sacrifice looks like some sort of Jesus freak.
He looks like a combination of Jesus, Sabu, and Metallica's Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, and what's that guy that goes around that used to be on Mancow? Freak.
Freak?
Kind of looks like that burnout freak, that Zach Wilde wannabe.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Look at this. 1, Oh, no, only a 1. Look at that. He slammed him right there on that cage, too. Oh, head first, too, with the pipe. The pipe at that cage could have really given Jimmy Blaze a concussion for all we know this night.
Not a lot of play in that pipe there.
No, that's it. That's steel, man.
No, that's the real thing.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's like the ropes. All the fans, they don't realize just how hard those ropes are.
You're right about that.
Ropes are very hard.
It's steel cable. A lot of times it's covered in like garden hose, and that steel cable's really, really stiff. I mean, it's got to hold up sometimes a 200-300-pound man.
A boy could lose a marble that way, you know?
You're right about that.
Watch it with those ropes.
Not to mention an eyeball. And I don't even want to talk about popping a retina. Okay, Jimmy Blaze bleeding like a freak. Snatching up.
Like a freak, sacrifice. I like that.
Yes, he is. Wait a minute, down he goes.
I like it.
He's yet to bust open Sacrifice. This is not a first blood match, I will tell you that right now. But
it would have been all over if it was.
According to Nicholas H., one of the bloodiest matches in history. Yeah, Jimmy Blaze, I mean, what was he doing? Taking bare aspirin before this? I mean, that guy's just bleeding like a stuck pig. Now he's setting up this steel cage door in the corner. He's kicking everything out of the way. He's really setting something
Sacrifice up here. Better get with it right now.
He's dragging him over by the feet. You got to wonder.
He's got to get with it now.
Uh-oh, I got a feeling there's a catapult somewhere in the future of Sacrifice! Face first to that pipe. Face first to the pipe, rolls him right down for a pinning prediction. A pinning predicament, only a 2. Only a 2. I thought that could have been it for Sacrifice. Jimmy Blaze, how can he see with all the blood in his eyes? Now he's got stuff in it. No, why there it is! That's why he kept the coat on the post. He's got stuff in the coat he's intended to use.
Now wait a minute, what does he got right there?
Well, it looks like a bag of stuff.
Looks like a Class X felony. I don't know what
he's what's going on. It's a bag of stuff. I hope it's not anthrax, for the love of God.
Well, it could be. It's 2002.
Face full of stuff to Lutafano! Face full of stuff to Lutafano! Wait a minute, he just pie-faced none other than Jimmy Blaze. He didn't know it was Jimmy Blaze. He couldn't see. He just choke-slammed practically Jimmy Blaze to the mat. Sacrifice is trying to get back in this thing. The referee don't know where he's at. The referee cannot see. He is.
Well, some people say that about him all the time. So I mean, he's a good guy, though, obviously. But that 2.5 count.
Sacrifice for the pin. Nobody there to count it, though. The fans are counting it. I see the fans counting 1, 2. Nobody.
They better do something, because those fans can only count single digits.
There's another referee, and it looks like Nicholas H. Nicholas H. is in there trying to revive. He's wiping his eyes.
Oh.
Nick, get in there and count the pin. Don't wipe his eyes. Oh, my goodness. He wiped his eyes. Wait a minute. He is back. Lou Tafano's is back in this thing. He has been revived. Nicholas H. has saved the day. Oh, my goodness. Jimmy Blaze has got Sacrifice by the hair, and he's dragging him right into the middle of all this stuff. Uh-oh, Sacrifice fighting back, punching each other.
Sacrifice, look at this. You're not going to win the match like that.
No, you're not.
No, you really need to stay on your feet, I think.
And fight.
Yes.
Here he goes. Flings him off. Sacrifice reverses. Oh, wait a minute. While we weren't looking, they've set up a barbed wire contraption rather,
yes,
at one end of the ring. Oh, right into the barbed wire goes Blaze. I think he's going to be cut open now, too, right about the arms.
As far as those contractions go, I understand that they're coming closer together now. So this...
I can't see it.
Yeah.
I just can't see it.
This is a very pregnant match. It's got a gestation period.
I don't know.
It's got a gestation period of an elephant, this match.
There you go.
Just because of the chaos and everything. The way I like it. Bloody. Look at that. That's some heavy metal right there.
It's a war of attrition even.
There you go.
Here we go. Jimmy Blaze bleeding. Gets clocked with a sheet pan for his troubles. And down to his knees and down to the mat he goes. Sacrifice adding insult to injury. Just beating him with whatever he can find in the ring. They've got a steel cage door. They got a smashed up trash can. Now what's all this? A board? He's going to clock him. Oh, it's a keyboard. Here we go. You have mail! There you go. Thank you. And I don't even own a computer, but they say that, right, when you open it up?
You've got mail.
From some dirty little girl from...
Well...
Anyhow.
It depends.
Hey, well, it's fun, you know. You get on the internet and meet somebody. You know, I still got to go to the grocery store the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. You should borrow somebody's young child and put him in the cart.
Why? I ought to beg for money?
Yeah. Well.
No. Hey, wait a minute. The big scam is having them sell candy out in front of Walgreens, but that's only in Northwest Indiana.
Yeah.
All right, here we go with that bat now. Sacrifice just did some damage to Jimmy Blaze with that, some kind of a augmented bat. Looks like it's got something wrapped around it. Now he's stripping. It looks like he's ripping off the shirt of Jimmy Blaze. You don't want to do that, A, because nobody wants to see Jimmy Blaze with his shirt off. And B, Jimmy Blaze wore a shirt to the ring for protection because he knew how hardcore this match was going to be, and he wanted to protect his lily white skin.
Sure.
That's it.
He doesn't look like he's seen the sun, that's for sure.
That's for sure, but he did just see that bat. Sacrifice rolls him up for the 1, the 2. Only it gets it. Man, Jimmy Blaze, man. Jimmy Blaze really, really showing us something here. He is not going down at the hands of Sacrifice, who's pulled out all stops right here at the original Dreamnight.
This thing is just out of control. Look at this.
He's trying to snatch him back up, gets a kick in.
But Jimmy Blaze just hanging in there. In fact, you know, my prediction is on the whole thing that Jimmy Blaze is going to take it because, I mean, he's not giving up. That's the mark of a champion right there.
If you can make people immortal and now you're going to do predictions, I mean, we might as well not even finish the show.
Well, that's the thing about...
You just gave away the ending, Bonejangler.
Well,
I'm just...
I always have to, you know, Nocturna gives me crap about that I like to do things the mortal way.
Oh yeah, like Samantha's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's sort of like in reverse.
Well, I'm just busting your bells. I'm busting your bells. All right, here he goes. Flings them in. Does Jimmy Blaze Sacrifice just? Did he catch some of that barbed wire? His facial expression looks like he did. Wait a minute. Snatching him. Uh-oh. You're going to set him right up on the top turnbuckle. Jimmy Blaze, what do you have in mind, you evil genius? He ascends up to the second rope. Lou Tufano going outside, hardcore style, letting this thing go the way the guys want to do it. Okay, wait a minute. Ow! Right down, and I don't know what they landed in, but it doesn't look like it felt too good for Jimmy Blaze at the hands of Sacrifice. Sacrifice going for the pin again. 1, 2... Oh, Jimmy Blaze, nope. Jimmy
there he
Blaze
goes with that 2.5 count again.
Well, Jimmy Blaze, no. Jimmy Blaze is a tough customer, man. You know, there's that bat, man. That thing looks just vicious. And they got a kendo stick in there. Jimmy Blaze is sneaking on that bat. Sacrifice gets a kick in. Jimmy's trying to make his way back up. He's still got that coat, too. What's left in the coat of Jimmy Blaze? So far, he's had some kind of a powder that would blind you momentarily. What else has he got in there? You got to wonder. A hand coil?
I don't know. The way his head looks, he might want to blaze something up when he gets out of this match.
Yeah, that's it. He might feel better.
He might.
Jimmy Blaze, oh, with that bat, clocks him right to the side of the head.
That's a wake me up right there.
Sets it back down. Now, Jimmy Blaze is trying to, oh my goodness.
Now, this is a curious move here.
Yes, it is.
What exactly are we doing here?
It looks like he's trying to fling him to the outside to the floor. And that would, oh, no, right through that table. He just dropped him right on the stiff end of that table, right on top of the legs that couldn't even break. That had to hurt. Oh, man.
That's another thing, the table. They think that the table doesn't hurt as much as it really does. I mean,
you know,
that's a painful thing. Someone wants to get put through a table sometime. I'm sure we could do that here on the mat.
We could arrange it for him right here.
I have to get special insurance like you do for a carnival or something.
Right, you probably would have to get special insurance, or for like a dunk tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever worked one of those dunk tanks?
No, I haven't, but I enjoyed the dunk tank in the Battle of the Network Stars when Heather Locklear and Linda Carter would get up there in that dunk tank.
Yeah.
That's a sport right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a wet Wonder Woman. Gotta love it. Here we go. Jimmy Blaze on the outside, Sacrifice in a world of hurt, laying out in pain on the floor of the gymnasium at the PCW Dreamnight #1, 2002. Referee Lou Tufano trying to make his way back in there. Jimmy Blaze is opening up a bag of chips, coffee, thumbtacks! I got it! Thumbtacks! Yeah, look at this. I knew I'd arrive at it sooner or later. What a sadistic freak Jimmy Blaze is. Lining the PCW ring with thumbtacks. Now he's going to take a little walk to see his old friend Sacrifice, who ripped off half of his shirt earlier. Jimmy Blaze doesn't cotton to that kind of treatment. He's already bloody. He's got scars on his back. It's not a guy you want to get mad. He's a big dude. Nicholas H., you're standing here. Jimmy Blaze, what is he, Germanic? What racial extraction is Jimmy Blaze? Any idea? Dutch?
I want to say German.
He looks very Aryan.
Yes, he is, and he is. That hair's natural.
Yes.
Yes, from what I understand. The drapes match the curtains. 1, 2, only a 2. Why, I oughta.
Where do you hear these things at?
Yeah, well, I watched a show called The Bonejangler. Thank you very much. He's a saucy guy. Look at Jimmy Blaze spitting out his teeth. Oh my goodness, Jimmy Blaze is bleeding like a stuck pig. What an image, what a horrific image. Uh-oh, he's got him up. Here we go. So he's got him for the pile driver. Drops him face first in the middle of the ring on all that garbage. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness, Jimmy Blaze with a big win over Sacrifice. And PCW's very